Hey everybody, my name is Ty Bernicke and I'm going to be doing this month's monthly update. And the topic that we're going to be going over today is the Secure Act 2.0. And what I wanted to do is just give a real short recap of the things that are most likely to affect you and the rest of our clients. So, as many of you know, if you have an IRA or some sort of tax-deferred retirement plan, starting at the age of 70 and a half, you have to take something called the required minimum distribution, which makes you take a small amount out each year. And if you don't do that, you get a big penalty. And so it forces taxation on the amount that you have to take out. A few years ago, they changed that regulation. So instead of starting that at 70 and a half, you had to start it at 72. And now, because of the Secure Act 2.0, they actually increased that age to 73 starting this year. And starting in 2033, the age will actually increase to 75 for required minimum distributions. And it's important to know this if you are implementing Roth conversion strategies with our firm to move your money from a tax-deferred environment to that tax-free environment. You get an extra year now because of the Secure Act 2.0 to do that. One other thing to note, though, is if you are charitably inclined, you still can donate money directly out of your IRA to qualified charities of your choice, and it does not count as a taxable distribution if you do it correctly and you qualify. So please remember, 70 and a half is still the age where you want to start thinking about giving to charities from your IRA if you can. A second notable change that came about because of the new act that we have is with 529 education plans. And for those of you who have used 529 education plans, either for kids or grandkids, it's a way of setting aside money for future education for a child or grandchild. The money can grow on a tax-deferred basis. And when the money is withdrawn for qualified reasons, the money comes out tax-free. But if it's withdrawn for non-qualified if the reasons you're taking the money out aren't for education reasons and they're not qualified, you have to pay a tax and penalty on all of the growth over the years that you own that 529 plan. However, this new law allows you to take 529 plans that have been in existence for a child or a grandchild or a beneficiary for over 15 years, and you can actually roll that money from the 529 plan to that beneficiary's Roth IRA, subject to normal contribution limits, and that money will grow for that beneficiary tax-free over the duration of their lifetime. So if you're like me, the first time you hear this, it's kind of difficult to imagine. So I'm going to use an example to illustrate how this works. Let's say we have a proud grandpa. He sets up a 529 education plan for Billy. And he sets this up when Billy's, let's say, 1 year old. And so Billy has this 529 plan, and he ends up getting a full ride golf scholarship to the university of his choice. And so he doesn't actually need to use the money from the 529 plan to pay for his educational expenses. So in this example, if later on after school, Billy gets a job and qualifies to contribute money to a Roth IRA, his grandpa can actually say, you know what, I'm going to move $6,500 per year from your 529 plan into your Roth IRA so you don't have to do that. And I'm going to do it for several years until we hit this lifetime $35,000 aggregate limit. So once the grandpa does this over multiple years up to the contribution limits for Billy, once he hits $35,000 in total, he can't do it anymore. But this new law allows people to be a little bit more flexible with how they get that money to their kids or their grandkids. It doesn't have to be just for educational purposes. One other thing that is affecting for those of you who are still working is starting in 2025, in a couple of years, companies that set up new 401ks or 403bs will be required to enroll employees automatically at a rate between 3 to 10% of their salary in these retirement plans. So basically, the government is trying to encourage employers to get their employees started and taking into account their own retirements by having this feature as part of the new act. It's important to know with this that employees can always opt out if they choose to. One final thing that I just wanted to mention that affects many of you who are still working. If you have a 401k plan, a 403b plan, a 457b plan, and you're a qualifying plan participant, this year in 2023, you can invest $22,500 per year into those different retirement accounts. And if you're over the age of 50, you can add an additional $7,500 on top of the $22,500 for a grand total of $30,000 per year. And because of the new Secure Act 2.0, starting in 2025, that $7,500 catch-up provision will increase to $10,000 per year for participants between the ages of 60 to 63 years old. And so I know I rattle off a number of things quickly for you to summarize what's been going on with the Secure Act 2.0. Please keep in mind there's many other things that might impact you. Myself and the rest of our advisors have been doing everything we can to study up on these different features that may influence you, and we'll certainly be talking about those with you more when you come in for your reviews. But those are some of the kind of the highlights of the Secure Act 2.0 that might affect some of our clients. So hope you found it informative, and I hope you have a wonderful January, and we'll be in touch soon.